When I think back to my time in college, there's one particular moment that stands out to me. Not because of the subject matter, but because of the profound life lesson I learned in the midst of it. It happened in Calculus 3. Now, let me just set the stage for you. By the time I reached this particular point in the semester, I think most of us were nearing the end of our rope. You know, that point in every semester when you're sleep deprived, hungry, and honestly, you don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. You go to class, you do your homework in between them, you hit office hours, you study for tests, and by the end of the week, everything's a bit of a blur. And for an engineering student, this is pretty much your life for a couple of years. You're just trying to get through it. So here we were in Calculus 3, about 3/4 of the way through the semester. We had just started a new topic, and to be honest, we were all feeling the weight of it. The problem wasn't necessarily that we couldn't understand the material. It was, we just didn't care. We all thought, why are we learning this? Will we ever use this in the real world? It was one of those moments when every student has that universal age-old question. Why are we learning this, and will it be useful? And then one of my classmates, sitting in the back of class, asked the question that was on all of our minds. Colonel Siemens, why are we learning this particular concept? Will we actually use this in our careers? I mean, we're all here to be engineers. Why do we need this? Colonel Siemens, who was our professor and also the department head of the entire math department, paused. He put down his chalk, he wiped his hands off, and turned around to face the whole class. There was an intense silence as everyone waited for his response. And what he said next completely changed the way I thought about education, challenges, and life itself. He said this: "The reason you're taking this class, and all of the other ones, is not necessarily because you'll use these specific concepts directly in your career. I have a bachelor's, a master's, and PhD in mathematics, and I can tell you, in my entire career, I have never directly used anything I learned in Calculus 3. But for some reason, your professors have decided that this is a mandatory class for you to take. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe, just maybe, it's because we're not teaching you how to memorize these formulas or to solve these problems. We're teaching you how to think." That moment has stuck with me for years, and it's one of the most important lessons I've ever learned, not just in the classroom, but in life. Colonel Siemens went on to explain that the real value of courses like Calculus 3 isn't in the specific content. The true value lies in the process of learning and how we think through problems and how we approach challenges, even when those challenges seem completely disconnected from our goals. He told us that sometimes life gives us opportunities to learn how to solve problems we may never face directly. But what we take away from those challenges is how to approach problems, how to analyze complex situations, how to persevere through things that don't seem to make sense at the time. The ability to think critically, to stay disciplined, and to push through difficult times, whether in school or in life, is invaluable. And I'll be honest with you, at the time, I wasn't thrilled about it. It's hard to see the big picture when you're buried in assignments, you're tired, and you're questioning your sanity. But years later, I can see what Colonel Siemens meant. He wasn't just teaching us math. He was teaching us how to think, how to break down a problem, how to think through the steps, how to stay patient, how to get comfortable with uncertainty, and most importantly, how to keep going even when you're not sure what the end result will be. It's a lesson that applies far beyond Calculus 3. It's about the things in life that feel pointless, frustrating, or unnecessary at the time. How often do we go through tough moments, whether it's a class we don't like, a job we're not sure about, or a personal challenge, and we wonder, why am I going through this? It doesn't seem to have an immediate payoff. It doesn't feel like it's connected to the goals I have. But here's the thing. There's always a reason. Life has a way of teaching us things we didn't expect. Sometimes the most difficult experiences don't give us the answers we want. Instead, they teach us how to deal with what may come in the future. how to adapt, how to approach the problems that will inevitably come later. Maybe you're going through a tough season right now. Maybe you're working at a job you don't love, dealing with personal struggles, or stuck in a situation that seems pointless. But I want to challenge you to look at it differently. Instead of asking, why am I going through this? What's the point? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this help me build resilience, patience, and the ability to handle more complicated problems down the road? Whether you're in a job you don't enjoy, struggling with something in your personal life, or even facing a seemingly pointless task, remember this. There is always a lesson in the process, even if you can't see it right now. And just like I'll probably never use anything from Calculus 3 in my engineering career, the lesson I learned from it will always stay with me. Life is full of plan B's and C's and sometimes even Z's. And in every one of those moments, the real lesson is how you handle it, how you learn from it, and how you grow. So if you're going through something tough right now, something that feels like it's just not worth it, remember there's a bigger purpose. The lesson may not be in what you're learning right now, but in how you're learning to think through it, to push through it, and to come out stronger on the other side. And when you get to the point in your life where someone asks you, how did you get through that? Well, you just might have to say something like, I have to thank Calculus 3 for teaching me how to think.